Well, what's up, guys? Good morning. It is, Thur- it is Thursday again. So, I wanted to do a video today. I wanted to I wanted to kind of talk about a few things that need to be talked about with regards, to the inghams. Now, recently, obviously, I admit I sent some sent death threats to the inghams, and I'm not, proud of that. I'm aware that that someone has made threats towards the children, threatening to harm the children. And obviously threats have been made towards Isabel, as mentioned by Sarah in her Instagram post. Um, and if they've had threats made towards the children, if someone has threatened to do something to them, that person isn't me. I know that I feel like a lot of people have been accusing me of sort of threatening the kids, but I can confirm now that I have never sent any threats of any, I've never threatened to harm the children in any particular way, because me threatening to harm the children in any particular way would make me just as bad as that boy that did the attacks in Southport a few weeks ago. I would never harm the children because most of the time I'm doing videos, defending these kids and talking about the way that these children are being exploited by by the parents and everything. And it's like, why would I want to harm the children if I don't have a problem with them? But this is the thing, I don't have a problem with the children, and I've never had a problem with them. My problem has only ever been with Chris and Sarah. So why would I have any reason to want to to want to harm the kids or do anything to Isabel? If most of the time I'm always kind of speaking up for the kids and kind of defending the kids and saying that what Chris and Sarah are doing isn't right. I also want to make it clear that Sarah greatly exaggerated the amount of emails I was sending every day, because I wasn't sending anywhere close to 50 to 80 emails every day. That's absolute bullcrap for a start. I was sending nowhere near that amount of emails. She greatly exaggerated that, for a fact. Obviously, and I want to clear one thing up as well. It wasn't me that started the fire at the back of their house. I've been nowhere near their house. Because if you guys might not know this about me, but I'm not somebody who is actually able to travel, long distances by myself. Because I struggle with it. That's one thing that I kind of struggle with, is being able to travel long distances on my own. If I'm going somewhere that's within my neighbourhood or within my within my area, it's fine for me to do that. But anywhere that's kind of outside of my area, I do require extra support for that. I do require, extra support when it comes to long distance travel, which rules me out of the, starting the fire. Because I'd never be able to get that far on my own. I don't have any way of actually being able to get to, I'd have to drive myself down to their house, because that's the only way I have of actually, the only way for me to actually get to their house is for me to actually drive myself down there. And I don't have a car. It's not like it's not like I can go out and get in my car and drive down to where they live. It's not that easy and straightforward for me to do that. It's not that easy and straightforward for me to get to where they live if I have no way of actually getting there. Obviously it's not like it's quite a distance away from here. So. That's one of the things I felt the need to clear up. With me recently, I think I'm just getting a bit fed up with the way the IFAM constantly defend Chris and Sarah over every single thing they do. But I think the good thing is, I think more and more people now are starting to see just how ridiculous the IFAM are in the way that they defend Chris and Sarah over everything they do, everything they say. It's ridiculous how the IFAM always put everything that Chris and Sarah says down to being banter, when sometimes it doesn't feel like it is just banter. The things they say, that they say in the vlogs, it doesn't feel like they are just banter. Obviously I'm not going to stop posting videos, calling the inghams out and criticising them for the things they do. I don't really care, anymore if people don't agree with my opinions on things. I don't really care, I'm past caring about that. The problem with a lot of the IFAM here, and I'll say this for a fact, obviously I go on about the fact that young kids shouldn't have to put up with being filmed every day, and I say that a lot about Mila, Jace and Aurora. And the IFAM are always so quick to jump on me and have a go at me for saying that, but the problem with the IFAM is it feels like they don't really understand, a lot of the IFAM don't really understand the point I'm trying to make. It's like they're attacking me, but they're attacking me for what I'm saying, but I don't think any of them really understand, properly understand the point I'm trying to make. The problem with a lot of the IFAM is they lack, any real intelligence. The IFAM are not the smartest of people, and you can tell that in the way a lot of them respond to the comments and things like that. A lot of them are all saying the same things, they're not really saying anything different, they're all just saying the same things as each other, they're repeating what each other's saying most of the time with their comments. And, it's just, it's laughable sometimes. You can see that, the IFAM probably, I don't even think half of the IFAM even understand what child exploitation is. They're so quick to defend Chris and Sarah, but do they even understand what they're, I don't even think that half of the IFAM are even able to understand that what Chris and Sarah are doing, is wrong. This is why I laugh, because the IFAM have a go at me for, having an issue with Chris and Sarah, but I feel like most of them don't understand what my issue actually is with them. I don't think any of them really properly understand why I actually have an issue with them. I think, I just wish the IFAM was smart enough to understand the point I'm trying to make most of the time, because as I said, I don't think that any of them really are smart enough to understand the point that I'm trying to make most of the time. They all try and justify, they're all trying to justify things and, make excuses all the time for what Chris and Sarah do. It's like, as I've said before in previous videos, if the inghams threw one of their kids off the top of the Burj Khalifa, the IFAM would still defend them. There was absolutely nothing there was actually nothing the IFAM would not defend them for. The IFAM would defend Chris and Sarah over absolutely anything. It's probably best to avoid posting any kind of negative comments on their vlogs, because as soon as you post the negative comments on their vlogs, you get the inghams YouTube comments police squad jumping on you. And when I mean the comments police squad, I mean people like Leanne Scott, Mama Dondons, Tracy Jacobs, James Fleeman, Nicola Jarvis, of course, Elizabeth, whatever her bloody second name is. There's about 3 different Elizabeths I know that comment on the so there's Elizabeth, just her first name. Then there's Elizabeth Milholland, I've seen commenting quite a lot. And then there's Elizabeth Rennick. It's hard to know which one is which, because there's 3 of them. It's hilarious. They are all as bad. They're probably the fittest bunch of the IFAM, to be honest. They are the sort of people that lack any real intelligence. The way some of Mama Dondon's comments, they're so hissile. oh, you're my favourite YouTube fan, love, you know, it's just so sickening, it's so sickening, it's like, pass me the sit butt here, you know. It was like yesterday, right? This is going off track a bit. Yesterday, I was watching Jonathan Jolie's video, TikTok, it's like YouTube short that he put out yesterday, and all you saw was people saying, "Oh, Jonathan's a great dad. You know, he's such a great dad." Blah 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 blah. And I was like, no, and I was like, "No, he's fucking not." You know, I was like, "You please just shut the fuck up and stop lying." Because Jonathan is not a great dad, and people need to actually stop lying. You know, it's the same with the inghams. You know, the problem with a lot of the iPhone is they are in serious denial most of the time. You know, it's like, you know, I think it would be really difficult for any of the iPhones to have to actually admit that what Chris and Sarah are doing is wrong. I know I say that Chris and Sarah have a problem with admitting they're in the wrong, but I think a lot of the iPhone also have that problem. They also have that problem with being able to admit that Chris and Sarah are in the wrong, because they're never actually able to do that. They're never actually able to admit that Chris and Sarah are in the wrong. It's like they don't ever want to admit that, you know. But sometimes it might actually be a more sensible thing to do. I mean, obviously, I'm not trying to justify me sending death threats to them or anything like that. You know, I know that what I did was ban out of order, and you know, I'm holding my hands up to that and saying that I was wrong for what I did. But I'm not gonna condone. I'm not gonna, you know, apologise for calling them out and saying that they're wrong for shoving a hammer in a 3-year-old child's face every day, or for shoving a hammer in a baby's face every day. I'm not going to apologise for saying that I think that is absolutely cruel, selfish, and unfair. You know, I'm not gonna apologise for saying that Chris and Sarah are exploiting their hits, because that's exactly what they are doing. And I know people will deny that, say, oh no, they're not doing that, they're not doing that. Well, actually, they are. The problem is a lot of people these days are too dumb to actually realise that. You know, a lot of people are too dumb to realise the fact that Chris and Sarah are actually exploiting their kids. You know, I mean, obviously I read the Town Live forums every day, you know, and I love seeing comments that, you know, the things people say on there. They make me laugh, you know, the way they go off on one, you know, but the thing is with the people that comment on the Town Live forums, like, what I like about them is they're not, you know, they're not afraid of like, getting backlash for saying what they say. Like, they'll say what they want to say, you know, that they, you know, their, you know, their comments are, you know, full on, you know, very on point. You know, I respect a lot of the things they say, and a lot of the things they say are really, you know, are the truth. You know, I like the people that comment on the Child Life forums, because they are, they are people, they are like-minded people. You know, they're the sort of people that are able to see Chris and Sarah for who and what they really are, and I respect them for that. You know, I've always respected the people that, you know, comment on the Total Life forums, because those people are speaking the God honest truth at the end of the day, and that's the way it is. I mean, I'm aware. I mean, I'm reading the Total Life forums practically every day, and I love, you know, seeing the way, you know, I love seeing some of the names that, you know, the people on Total Life come up with Chris and Sarah. You know, they call them lazy and all that, and it's kind of funny. Um, you know, they don't hold back on what they say. You know, the thing I like about that and I admire about the Total Life, the people that comment on the, you know, that post on the Total Life forums, right? I really admire the way that they don't hold back on what they say. Like, they're not afraid to speak what's on their mind and things like that. And I like that. You know, that impresses me, the fact that they're not afraid to say what needs to be said. You know, I like people like that. You know, I like people who are able to see that that most of these family vlogging channels are garbage and need to be banned. You know, I think that, I mean, obviously I know that a lot of the people on the Total Life forums, obviously, you know, you know, wouldn't agree with me sending death threats to the inghams, and I don't blame them for not agreeing with that. But I want them, if I say anything to, you know, I want the people on the Total Life Forum, from the Total Life Forums, to know that I have nothing but the greatest respect for them. You know, and I hope that, obviously I want them to know that I'm a decent person. You know, I make mistakes, and I admit, you know, I've admitted to making those mistakes, and, you know, I am admitting what I'm doing is wrong. And I don't want people to think that, you know, reading what I've seen on the Total Life Forums and things like that has influenced me to do what I did, because I haven't been influenced by the Total Life Forums in any way at all. You know, those people from the Total Life Forums are not to blame for what I did. You know, they're reading what they put, you know, it's not their fault. Like, I've not been influenced by what I've seen on the Total Life Forums or anything like that. Nothing I've seen on the Total Life Forums has influenced me to do what I did. You know, I did what there was no influence there whatsoever. And I obviously, I want people to understand that, you know, that his are in no danger. You know, his and Sarah are not in any danger, because I'm not. You know, I have no way of getting anywhere near them. So, you know, why would I want to? That's what I'm willing to say. Like, I don't know what else I could say about this that, you know, I haven't already said. I mean, I think I've been pretty, you know, truthful about this, and, you know, pretty honest about it. You know, to be fair, I don't think I've been, you know, massively negative about this as such. But yeah, I want everyone to know that I am sorry for what I did, and I want people to know that I'll do whatever I have to do, you know, to put this right. You know, I am not doing this just because I've been hauled out and been exposed and things like that. I'm doing this because I'm doing this video because a lot of what I've said had to be said. You know, I wanted to make it clear that the threats that have been made towards the children haven't come from me. But I would never threaten to harm the children in any way. And I know I said that at the start of the video, but I really want to make that clear. That I have never, ever, and will never, ever send threats to the children, or threaten to harm the children in any way. I mean, I know they had threats from someone threatening to rape the kids. And again, those threats have not come from me, because I would never threaten to rape any child. I'm not that way inclined. I'm not that sort of person that gets some kind of enjoyment out of making threats to rape a child or any children in that matter. For that matter, you know, I would never threaten to do anything that serious. I would never threaten to rape a child or anything like that. You know, a lot of what I said, you know, in regards to the death threats, was me just trying to scare Chris and Sarah a little bit and try and give them, you know, try and frighten them a little bit, you know. I wanted to, you know, they've never had a reason to feel scared, and I wanted to give them a reason to feel scared. You know, I wanted them to, you know, I wanted people to realise, I wanted them to realise, you know, just how much some people despise them, and just how much some people hate what they do. And I don't think they've ever really understood how much some people hate what they do. You know, hate what they do. You know, like an actual innocent most of the time, but they're not that innocent. I mean, I look back at these allegations that were made against Chris. Now, why would that girl lie about what Chris did? You know, if people think she's lying, I would love to see all these people stand in front of that girl's parents and tell them that their daughter's lying about what Chris did. You know, if she was lying, why did she post a video on YouTube talking about what Chris did? If she knew what she was saying wasn't true, if she knew she was lying, would she have posted that video if she was lying? Would she have posted that video if she knew what she was saying was absolute bullshit? You know, I doubt she would have done. I doubt she would have posted that video if it wasn't true. You know, I think that the only reason she posted the video on YouTube talking about what Chris did was because it's true. And she wanted people to know what he did and to know what he was like, what he was really like, and that he was not the perfect man that he's always made out to be. You know, and yeah, Chris denied what he did, denied what happened and said he didn't do it. But of course he's gonna do that. He's never gonna admit to doing what, that he did what he did. He's always gonna deny that on camera and say that he didn't do it. He's never gonna actually come on camera and say, well, yeah, I did do that, is he? Let's face it. You know, if any of these family vloggers were ever called out for something they did, they're never gonna come on camera and admit that they're in the wrong for anything. They're never gonna admit that they did, that what they did. They're never gonna admit to being in the wrong. They're always gonna deny it. And they're always gonna start trying to play the victims. And the reason they play that, and the problem is, the main issue is that a lot of these family vloggers are being treated like the victims most of the time, and it shouldn't be like that. It shouldn't be a case where the parents are always being treated like the victims. The victims here are these innocent children who are being exploited every day for money. And obviously it's YouTube. I know it's YouTube that is allowing that to happen, but the parents are to blame for that as well. Not these. People like Chris and Sarah would be absolutely nothing without their kids. They wouldn't. They would never. If it wasn't for their kids, they would never have gotten over 1 million subscribers. I'd love to see them go a week without filming their kids, and we'd see I guarantee you, we would see a huge difference in their views if they didn't film their kids for a week. I bet if they did, I know for a fact that if Chris and Sarah didn't film their kids for a week, nobody would watch their vlogs. Because people don't watch the vlogs to watch Chris and Sarah. The only reason people watch their vlogs is because they want to watch the kids. Pure and simple. And I doubt anyone, I'd love for somebody to try and deny that. But I think we all know that's the truth here at the end of the day. Is that the only reason people watch these family vlogging channels is because they want to watch the kids. It has to be said, it's as simple as that. So that's my 2 penny worth on the situation. I just wanted to do this video as it had to be done. I wanted to clear a few things up with regards to some of the things that were said in Sarah's Instagram post. Obviously, as I said, she greatly exaggerated the amount of emails I was sending, and she also if they've had threats made towards the children, those threats haven't come from me. If someone set fire to the back of their house, again, has nothing to do with me, because I have no way of getting anywhere near their house, so that has nothing to do with me, and that's what I really wanted to say. I just wanted to, clear these things up, because it felt like I was being accused of doing something I hadn't done. It felt like I was being accused of, something I wasn't, something I had nothing to do with, and something that I would, doing something that I would never do, it's not fair that people are accusing me of sending emails, threatening to harm the kids, because I would never do that. I'm not the sort of person that gets, as I said, I'm not the sort of person that gets some kind of twisted enjoyment out of threatening to harm the kids or threatening to rape the kids, which is what some lowlife has threatened to do. But that lowlife isn't me. That lowlife who's threatened to rape the kids has serious problems. But that person isn't me. I have nothing to do with these emails they've had threatening to harm the kids. I have nothing to do with a fire being started at the back of the house or wherever it was. None of that has anything to do with me. The only thing that I'm guilty of is harassing the inghams every day and sending emails to them, and sending death threats to them. But anything else, I'm not guilty of. Sending threats to, threatening to harm the kids, I'm not guilty of that. Sending threats to, threatening to set fire to the house, I would never do that. You know, and the thing is, Sarah made it, in Sarah's Instagram post, she made it sound like I was the one that set fire to the back of their house, but it wasn't. It had nothing to do with me. So it's not fair that she's making it sound like it was me that did that, because I can assure you it absolutely wasn't. You know, and I'm not going to start getting all angry about this and all ranting and start having a massive rant because I don't need to do that. I've said what I need to say in this video. I hope you enjoy it, and I'll see you for the next one very soon. Bye bye for now, guys. Have a good day.